Hello, I'm Beau Henderson, and welcome back to Rich Retirement TV, the one source to give you the resources and tools to successfully navigate retirement. And one of the things I want to talk about today is retiring early. Sounds great, right? Hey, why wouldn't you want to leave work early, that life of luxury on the golf course, on the beach? Sounds good, right? Hear a lot about the FIRE movement, that early retirement. Sounds positive, but what I do want to share is there's a lot of reasons that an early retirement may be a mistake. And I've seen this as I'm having these conversations with retirement planning clients. I see some of these things come up that we might not necessarily think about before we make that decision to retire, but maybe we should. And there was an article I read recently where Chris Bieber wrote, Reasons People May Regret in Early Retirement. I wanted to share some of these items today. The first is to pull our Social Security early in retirement because we might need that for the income. We could take a haircut or a reduction by as much as 70%. Now, we might not notice that too much early on because we're enjoying not working and leaving work earlier, but where that can really come back to catch up with us is later in retirement. That 70% reduction will be the starting point for the rest of our lives. So that early retirement benefit, and not to mention, what does that do to our spouse? So that's a mistake. A lot of times people will come back and say, you know what, I wish I would have delayed my Social Security a little more so I was in better shape at 70 than kind of living for the short term and filing early at 62. Another area is if we retire early, right? If we retire earlier in the timeline, we have less time to save for retirement. So we're addressing, or we're getting to that problem that we're seeing over and over again, is people in this country, they're not saving enough and they realize they're living longer and they're trying to fund a longer lifetime and they're running out of money too soon. So that's another thing that retiring early takes out is if we're not earning income, we're taking away some of our core savings years to create the assets to extend and last the rest of our life. Another regret you may have in retirement that I thought was really relevant is you could be forced to actually withdraw less money because if we don't have enough saved, we might have to pull down less than we'd really like. And what that could lead to is a little lower lifestyle than we'd like in retirement. So what's the trade-off there? Maybe I got out a little sooner and retired sooner, but it might not be quite the satisfying, enjoyable life we like. So we really want to do the planning and do the modeling up front to make sure mathematically we're landing where we want to be so that we have plenty of money to last as long as we need it to. And the last I really want to talk about, this is a little different. It's not necessarily financial, but when we've been working somewhere for 30 or 40 years, a lot of our social interactions there, a lot of our routines there, we might get up one day in retirement after this early retirement that sounds great. We might find out we're bored. I have a lot of people come to me dealing with depression because they didn't transition and really start identifying what's my life going to look like now in retirement, now that I don't have the structure and routine and relationships that I had with work. And sometimes people actually are coming in, going back to work just for that social component, just to address some of that structure that they were missing. So just a couple, there's a lot more, but those were 4 good points that I thought we could talk about. Maybe early retirement's a good idea, and if the math works and there's plenty of money and you have a lot of things lined up about who am I going to be in retirement, what am I going to do in retirement, it could be a successful outcome. But just like anything, let's model it, let's look at the strategy, and let's make sure we have a good plan for that early retirement because that's going to lead to that successful, meaningful, fulfilling retirement that I know we really all want. So hope it's a couple of good ideas. I'd love to hear your ideas. If you have pros and cons of, hey, why I should retire early or things maybe I learned by retiring early or mistakes, some mistakes we made. When we share, it kind of blesses us all because we learn from each other and what happened here. So again, I hope it's a couple good ideas. Let me know other topics you'd like to hear about. When it comes to retirement planning, we do have a giveaway in the comments below, the retirement cheat sheet. So look below there and get that. And as always, subscribe to Rich Retirement TV. And again, let me know, what kind of experts would you like to hear from? What kind of topics would you like to hear about? And we'll see you next time with some good information right here on Rich Retirement TV.